Happy Friday. Welcome to Fast Fact Friday with Michelle of Revolutionary Resume. I am here to talk to you today, as always on Fridays before lunchtime, about the workforce, what's going on out there, and usually give some tips and tricks. Today we'll talk about resumes as prompted by an article I saw this week. So let's get started. Some facts. UPS, you've probably heard, is cutting some people. By some, I mean 20,000 jobs. They are estimated to save $3.5 billion, I believe that says. Yes. And 73 leased and owned buildings are going to close. This is a lot of people in the workforce. So if you know anybody at UPS, feel free to pass along my information. At least have them follow the page for tips and tricks on applying, interviewing, and resumes. FlexJobs did a recent report, and the trends they saw in hiring were social media was ticking up, administrative roles, and marketing roles. And those are growing by 20% or more. So those are huge. So are you currently upskilling in those areas? Do any of those areas interest you? I mean, if you're watching this now, you're on some sort of social media. So can you make it work for you? What kind of certifications can you get? I've often talked about LinkedIn, and you can do premium free for a month. And they have certifications you can get. Check and see if there's some social media, administrative, or marketing ones. Do you have transferable skill sets from other roles that you've had? Those kinds of things. Jobs were up, but the job growth wasn't quite where it had been predicted. There were 62,000 private sector roles added in the month of April. Who's hiring in this uncertain economy? So that is way too tiny. Sorry, guys. Tried to snip just part of an article. But Reuters said U.S. job openings dropped sharply in March, but a decline in layoffs suggested the labor market remained on solid footing despite an ever-shifting tariffs policy casting a pall over the economy. Obviously, that's a little politically charged, but uncertainty is the worst thing when you're trying to do your long-range plans as a business. So the more certainty we have, whatever it is going to be helpful. So they adjusted the February numbers on how many jobs were actually open, and it was 7.48 million. And the job openings for April were 7,192. Sorry, the other figure was actually March. That was February. And then March was, or April was down to 7.192 million by the end of March. So March and April, there's a little bit of a dip in 0.3 million jobs available. So make sure again that you're marketable. Intel is also laying off, according to Bloomberg, more than 20%. Last week, I covered all the tech places that were hiring, the top 15 that were put out by Forbes. You can look at my prior live stream. There's also a reel talks about the top 5 and then gives the next 10 more. So please make sure you're ready. Let's talk about your resume do's and don'ts. Don't put your full address. Make sure that your skills are quantified and that you quantify your accomplishments, and that you don't use wording that is just like responsible for this, responsible for that, responsible for this. Explain what you did so that somebody outside of your circle and outside even of your occupation, because sometimes HR is on the fly and they shouldn't, but sometimes they are looking just at these resumes. If you can't paint that picture of exactly what you did, we might not be able to see it where it connects with the job that you're applying for. So make your value very front and center for them. All right? We want to get you hired. That's the whole reason I'm doing what I'm doing. The other thing that they were talking about on resumes is using pictures, using colors. Don't do any of that. Don't make it too fancy. You want it straightforward, easy to understand, quantifiable data where you can. You know, I raised sales by X amount. I onboarded X number of people. I saved this much in production. What did you do that made you a value add? When you are applying, you can tweak your resume. I don't recommend necessarily tweaking it every single time because therein lies madness. You will make yourself crazy having to do that so much. But I do recommend if you read through the job description and you see a skill on there that you have that wasn't already listed under your skills on your resume, put it in there. How many years did you work on that? If I tell them I had 1 year in Salesforce, well, she knows enough to get logged in. If I tell them I have a decade in Salesforce, they know I can be a super user in just a matter of weeks. So that also lets the employer know how fast you can hit the ground running, where you might need a little more one-on-one. It paints the full picture, and you always want to make sure they're getting a complete picture of all your skill sets. Again, I'm available. Give me a call, 513-438-0964. I have a contact form on the website, but you can see all my prices. I kept everything low so that it is manageable for all the people. And I look forward to helping you in your career development and career search. Take care until next Friday. Peace out.